You don't need training to see it. You can see it in the eyes of a man who grew up without a father, or with a dad who was present in body but absent in spirit. A man without a guide, without a model, without a steady reference for what masculine strength actually looks like. Raised without a father or a steady male influence. This was me. I met my dad when I was 17. And for so many men like me, for us, there was just a space where something essential should have been. For many men, that absent isn't just emotional, it's foundational, a missing page in the story of who they were meant to become. If this was your beginning, you already know the contradiction. The world told you to be strong, but never showed you how. You were expected to lead, to provide, to hold the line, without ever being given the tools, the language, or the example. The father wound doesn't only hurt, it withholds. From the outside, your life may look pretty good, intact. Anyway, at this point, you learn to function, to work, to endure, but underneath, there's often uncertainty that never fully settles in. A need to prove yourself that never quite resolves. Approval that never feels secure, no matter how much you earn, build, or give. You may distrust other men. I did, and for an embarrassing number of years, decades, or feel quietly measured against them. And when pressure rises, you go silent. Not because you were taught silence, but because you were taught to handle things alone. This isn't a defect. It's the imprint of not being fathered. For all my years, self-work, and earned wisdom, I still have to work on this. Inheritance is usually spoken of in terms of money or land, but men who grow up without a steady fathering receive something else: confusion. Confusion about role, confusion about direction, confusion about how to carry anger, fear, and failure. Without a man to stand beside you during life's early storms, you either drift or you push against everything. Some men hardened, some disappeared. Many lived somewhere in between. None, and I mean none, passed through unchanged. What is missing doesn't vanish, it shapes. What begins as absence often becomes repetition. In relationships, in friendships, in fatherhood itself. Men look for steadiness in women, then resent them for leading. They attach to mentors with intensity, then withdraw when disappointment arrives. They remain physically present with their kids, yet emotionally distant, because presence was never modeled. Now, this is not a condemnation, it is a recognition. What wasn't given often gets passed on unless it's seen clearly. What was needed was not perfection, it was presence. A father who was firm without being cruel, strong without being closed. A man who could say without discomfort, "You're not weak for feeling this. You're still a man when you're hurting. You don't have to carry it alone." What was needed was modeling, not rules, connection, not correction. Without that, men learn masculinity by guessing or performing, and neither one of those lasts. No man can change his childhood, but direction can change. The wound is real. The loss That also is real. What changes is the decision to stop letting absence define the future. Healing does not require confrontation. It doesn't require forgiveness or explanation. It happens internally, deep inside, when a man reclaims his authority, separates his worth from what was never given, builds a masculine identity rooted in integrity rather than approval. Often, it begins quietly, with recognition, with honesty, with refusing to continue a pattern that was never chosen. If you carry this wound, it does not mean you are broken. It means you are awake. Awake to something that shaped you without your consent. Awake to the choice to build something different. When this work happens, it doesn't only change one life, it changes how men relate, how sons are seen, how strength is expressed. The pattern ends where awareness begins. The father wound is not a sentence. It's a beginning once it's named. Not everything that shaped you gets to define you. We are a place for men who learned to endure early and now are choosing to build with clarity. If this message spoke to something you've lived, you're not the only one that's carrying this story. This channel is for men rebuilding character, rebuilding clarity, rebuilding strength, and rebuilding direction. If that's a path you're on, you're welcome to subscribe and walk with us. This is Still Standing.